Fitz, how long has the beard been going?
Uh, Ever since they shut down barber shops, there's really only two people in the country that I trust to touch this thing, and uh, one is in Tampa, one is in New Jersey. So it's been going ever since everything got shut down. But uh, the neck hair is out of control right now. I'm glad you can't see it.
How?
Fitz, tell us what it's been like locked in the house with all those kids running around.
Well, it's been a little bit crazy, but we're out in Arizona, and my brother lives next door, and he has 5 kids, so that's 12 every day running around. We've got a bit of space here, so that part of it, the kids haven't even noticed, other than having to go to school online and doing some of their schoolwork right away. But it's actually been a good time just to get away from everything else and reconnect with everybody and just be with family and enjoy each other, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner together. So we haven't left the house a whole lot other than to go get groceries or the golf course every now and again. But it's been good for us in the sense that we've got to spend a lot of quality time together.
Cam Wolf.
Fitz, what's up, man? I'm sure you had expected the Dolphins to take a quarterback. Obviously, they did so. What's sort of your thought process on that, and maybe your role in Tua's development?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like everybody else, it was expected that if there was a guy that they liked in one of those selections, that they were going to pick somebody, and Tua happened to be the guy in that spot, and obviously they really liked him. So for me, and I've been in this situation before a little bit, just try to go in every day and be myself. Even in the Zoom meetings right now, just be myself. I help them. I'm an open book, and try to make sure that they know and they're comfortable with coming to me with questions. But I also am going to express my opinions and thoughts on plays that we're watching and 2-minute drives. And, we've been going over some of that stuff, and just my mind and the process and how I think through it, right or wrong, just to provide them some perspective. But I'm excited for him to be here. I love watching him play in college, and I think he's going to be an awesome addition to the team for a long time.
Adam Beasley.
Fitz, you had one of the best statistical seasons of your career playing for Chan. How similar to what you did now, or you guys that did then, are you learning now? And why did you have so much success under Chan back in New York?
Well, I think being in his system for 5 years and on a couple different teams with a bunch of different personnels, Chan was really the first guy that truly believed in me and gave me my shot as a starter. And I just have always wanted to prove him right and to play well for him. He's the guy that allows players to play to their strengths. He's got an offense that is not very complicated to learn, but very complicated for defenses in the way it's presented to them. And he does a great job of utilizing different guys' talents and putting them in a position to succeed, and not necessarily telling them there's a certain way to do it, but allowing them some freedom and creativity within certain constraints to do the best job that they can. And I think guys have always enjoyed playing for him for that reason, and I've got a ton of confidence and trust in him. I know he has feels the same way about me.
Armando.
Fitz, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you for your Saturday Night Fever hairstyle. Very nice. Secondly, you obviously have seen what the team has done this offseason. What are your thoughts about the 2020 Dolphins as they look on paper?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult not being there because we are very young. There's going to be a lot of new faces, whether it was guys they brought in through free agency or guys they brought in through the draft. A lot of new faces, a lot of youth. And so with that, you want to get on the field. You want to start practicing. You want to start learning the system and learning each other. So I think, you know, they've evaluated this team. They got to watch 16 games last year and figure out what they like and what they didn't like. And, you know, for us as players, we just sit back. We hope we can be part of it. And you trust that they're doing the right thing and bringing in the right guys. And the holdovers and the guys that are still here are guys that obviously they liked last year and have some of the right attributes and right things that they're looking for. And, you know, as you know, having the 5th pick in the draft, obviously it wasn't a successful year last year, but I think there's some stuff that happened that we can really build on. And with these new guys coming in, you know, bringing them up to speed and making sure their mentality fits what we're trying to get done, that'll be important for us. And it's been tough on the Zoom meetings, but we're doing the best we can with what we have.
Safid?
Fitzy, how are you, man? I wanted to ask you, you know, you've been in the league for a while. You've had a lot of, you know, teammates from teams over the years, players that you've been in contact with now. What's the general gist that you get from players around the league, including yourself, about, you know, returning to the facilities, playing football with this coronavirus thing going on, and how safe you would feel, you know, getting back into the field and getting back into the building?
I think a lot of it, there's so much uncertainty right now. So I think a lot of it for us as players and kind of the approach or mentality that we have to take is we're going to trust the experts. You know, whatever they say, the guidelines that they set forth, we've got to trust them because we know they're going to err on the side of caution. So this thing, it changes every day. There's new information. There's different information. There's shifts every single day. So it's hard for us. And so I think the approach that we're taking is focus every day on what we can control. And that's our Zoom meetings and trying to do the best we can to learn this offense and to communicate and getting the workouts in on our own, trying to get ourselves in shape so that whenever this thing starts back up, that we're ready to go. And, you know, it's been difficult. The lockout year, the 2011 deal, nothing like this, because even finding, you know, fields or going to throw with guys or guys getting on airplanes, that's just not happening right now. So there's a lot of things that are even different from the off season that we experienced that year. But I think the biggest thing is trusting the experts, and we'll see where it goes.
Omar?
Ryan, what was it like to hear, I don't know if you did hear, but in the offseason, Brian Flores and Chris Greer sang praises of you and what you did last season and basically said, this is your team. What's that like? And can you remember at a point, maybe the Bills, where somebody said that this is your team as a quarterback?
I mean, my career has definitely been a progression in, you know, finally becoming a starter and then, you know, trying to hang on to that job, you know, wavering in confidence a little bit. And right now where I'm at in my career, I mean, it's nice to hear those things, but those are things, you know, that you see and you feel every day with your teammates, that I was able to see and feel every day at the end of the last year. You know, the way we kind of had things going and the confidence that was in the building. So that stuff is nice to hear, but it's stuff that you can kind of feel throughout the building as well. And, you know, for me, the position of quarterback is such a leadership position. I think it's important to have somebody in there that guys look up to and respect the way that you work, the way that you go about your business. And, you know, it's humbling for me to hear those things and also to know that my teammates feel that way about me.
Steve Weish?
Hey, Ryan, Steve White, NFL Network. I know you just said that, you know, you haven't been able to get out and throw and do any things like that, but are there people there in Arizona you can at least have run routes for you? I don't know if any of the 12 kids are around, go out there and catch balls from you or anything like that, but are you getting any of that type of work in?
I really don't. The last probably 8 or 9 years, I don't throw a whole lot in the off season. I just like to let my arm rest a little bit and then as OTAs start, ramp it up. So we'll see what happens here in the next few weeks, but I don't like to take more throws in the off season than I need to. So I'm doing a little bit right now, but nothing crazy.
We're going to do a couple more. Cam Wolf.
Hey, Fitzy, I know you had talked to your buddy Eric Wood on your pod this week, and you mentioned that you're going to be Tua's biggest cheerleader. How do you balance that and him being the future with you knowing that you obviously are the competitor that wants to be that 2020 present?
Yeah, I just think there has to. I mean, I'm as competitive as they come, so I want to go out there and start. I know there's a lot of forces that go into it from all kinds of different sides. So whether that happens or not, who knows? But I know that in order for our team to be successful, whoever's playing in that quarterback room has to be successful. So whether that's me out there doing everything I can to put the team in a position to win, or whether that's somebody else, be it Tua that is out there doing it, and I'm going to do the best I can to help him to make sure that our position is doing the things to make our team win. And that's just that's my mentality. That's how I think about it. But you know me very well, I think, from last year, and I want to be out there competing on Sundays.
We're going to do one more question. Joe Shad.
Hey, Fitz, good to see you. I'm really interested in those 2-hour Zoom calls you guys have been doing. Can you kind of help me explain how Coach Gailey and others sort of install an offense with virtually? And is there a dry erase board? Is there a chalkboard? Do they put plays on the screen digitally?
Well, I mean, I think every team's probably doing it a little differently, but some of it you've got to rely on guys to do some studying away from those calls at home. And I think one of the things that we found, this is new for everybody, so this is a work in progress for us, but the one thing I think that we found is, instead of having enormous meetings where it's maybe the whole offense or the whole team, being able to break it down to individual groups and have a couple groups in a Zoom at the same time where there can be open and fluid conversations and questions, that's been the most effective for us. So really breaking it down into small groups and having open forum and letting guys ask questions. And I think because of the setting we're in, guys feel a little bit more free to ask questions, maybe not as shy to chime in or to raise their hand virtually, and the different things that you can do. But I think they've been pretty productive. I don't think it's been perfect by any means, and I would much rather do it in person, but we're doing the best we can, and I think that they've been productive.